Hi, Pastor Nathan Decker with your hashtag Better Together devotion for today. And one of the things that we need to make sure we claim as stewards, as people who are being good stewards of the gifts that God gives us, is the pause, the Sabbath. We need to hit pause every now and then and truly offer ourselves to a recreation or a recreation. So many times in our world, and I'm very guilty of this myself, we tend to live life and try to fill every single part of it with some experience or some travel trip, and we wonder why we're so exhausted all the time. The reality is that we need to make sure that we take time to hit the pause button, to hit those double lines and to tap it and say, I'm going to stop right now. And I'm going to reflect on what I'm doing with my life. I'm going to reflect on how I've been. I'm going to reflect on where I'm going. I'm going to reflect on what is going on around me. Too many times we tend to just go from thing to thing to thing to thing, from task to task to task, from event to event, from this calendar point to this calendar point, from this purchase to that purchase. And instead of being good stewards of our time, what this does is it makes us to where we're totally reactive on a nuclear level. And when that happens, you can expect there's going to be a big kaboom, a breakdown. There's going to be a tremendous fallout from all that we are. By hitting pause and reflecting, it's almost as though we've inserted coolant rods and have stopped the reaction a little bit, to where we can reflect and think about what we're truly doing and really refocus our life so that maybe, just maybe, we can be proactive rather than reactive, so that we can be someone who walks into the room with less anxiety rather than adding anxiety to the group, so that we're the person who has come in with a heart that is filled with just a fullness, rather than a heart that continues to get depleted and run over. As Christians, as people of faith, one of the deepest parts of our faith is the lesson that God teaches throughout the Old Testament, and that is the pause, the Sabbath, the moment where we take just a breath and say, let me think about everything that's just gone on. Let me reflect on everything that's heading forward. Let me breathe. And let me just take in what God is doing. That's Sabbath. Restoring, recreating, recreating, and just being. Try it today. Carve out some time. And I know that's hard with your schedule, but go back to yesterday and talk about how we don't really truly manage it. And just breathe. Take in the goodness. Let out the bad. And find yourself restored through God's wonderful grace. Amen.